Ironmouse, a demon queen from the underworld that came to live with humans after becoming obsessed with their culture and VTubers. She has a demon assistant named Bubi, who in many of the universes is the one responsible for helping her both get to Earth and learn how to harvest soul energy from streaming. Because her power often causes problems where she lives, she wears silver bells on her demon form to help seal her power, but in the angel form universe, the limiters are instead large rings on her legs. She wears these to stay on Earth for as long as she can, and has even been known to brainwash a family into believing that she is their daughter. In Universe 666, which occurred before her newest angel form, she joined Vshojo with the help of Bubi to conquer the world and become one of its queens alongside one of her best friends and eldritch beings, Nyanners. Her powers have since grown to include traveling to other universes, but it's said that every universe has an Ironmouse, and I think ours is the best. Nyanners, the Dark Messenger of 1,000 Faces, is an ancient eldritch spirit who came to Earth under the orders of Azathoth to drain the world of its sanity alongside her companion, Goro. Arriving in ancient times, she was the cause of much chaos before being sealed in the frozen tundra of Siberia by Haruka Caribou. Awakening some 2,000 years later due to a meteor striking her location, Goro was able to find and transfer some of his energy to her, and the two began to once again roam the world. Nyanners would continue to drain sanity from individuals, but began to doubt that she had a true purpose, at least until discovering anime and making friends with the Lich, Wolf, Demon, Dragon, AI, Succubus, and Alien Dragon Robot hybrid. Having found this new purpose in life, she began to question the orders of Azathoth and decided his wanton destruction of this world was too wasteful. She would instead claim this world for her own, sleeping until 5 AM, streaming video games, and thriving in the chaos only this world could offer. Veibae, the Empress of the Skies. Long ago, when Nyanners came to Earth in her eldritch form, neither the heavens nor hell took a stand to stop her rampage, so nature, in this case Veibae and Haruka, took up the task of sealing Nyanners away. After an intense battle, the protectors of nature won, but at a cost. Nyanners, upset at being stripped of her magic, placed a curse upon Veibae, turning her into a succubus and stealing her memories. She would live this way for roughly 2,000 years, growing bored enough to play League of Legends and occasionally having terrifying visions of a mysterious butterfly. An unfortunate side effect of going throughout life without her ability to control the weather, nature would begin threatening to swallow the earth and disrupt a deal she had apparently made with the aspect of death, Snuffy, though we're a little unsure of the exact nature of their bargain. Over time, the curse placed upon her weakened to the point where after a touching reunion with Silvervale, she was finally able to break free and return to her original form, soaring through the skies and pacifying the storms that had been brewing. Now she moves on, looking to Vshojo for the future, and perhaps an interesting encounter with a very different Nyanners. Silvervale, the Sakura spirit. Long ago, in a different realm, there was once a goddess watching over the world, but she felt that she had no attachment to it, so she created two children, a boy and a girl. The boy took the form of a demon who was to gain strength from the darkness of the world and seek knowledge, and the girl took the form of a Sakura spirit, intended to nurture the world and foster joy. Unfortunately, as they grew, the demon fell to corruption, so to save their realm, Silvervale bound him in a coffin and took the form of a tree to seal him underground while she cleansed that corruption. For several thousand years, she attempted to calm her brother and found solace in a wolf pack that made its home in the shade of her branches, enjoying their companionship and love. As time passed, the demon's influence became too strong and made life uninhabitable for wildlife, leaving only an abandoned pup to rest under her shade. Distraught at what had happened to her children, the goddess used her magic to save Silvervale, merging her with the wolf pup and sending her to a new realm where she would thrive and flourish. Now here on Earth, she spreads joy to her audience and encourages them to appreciate the fleeting beauty in life. Did you know that Apricot, the resident lich of Vshojo, has never actually eaten the fruit her name is based on? She also used to be a half-dragon whose tail is made of dragon fruit, which could be harvested and then allowed to regrow. Unfortunately, she did lose this tail when she became a lich, but at least she can use her wings like hands to hold her tea while she draws. Her common nickname is Fruit, she lives in a giant castle, and she became a streamer for Vshojo when she realized she could harvest human souls by disguising them as Twitch subscriptions. Her phylactery is named Terry, and she wears him on her chest because it makes her feel more human, and if you try to destroy him, he's capable of flying away to protect Fruit. She also can't remove the green coloration of her hair, despite trying to dye it several times. Hime is a robot dragon hybrid who previously conquered her old planet by having so many children that she effectively had the galaxy's largest army, but grew bored and decided to leave in search of new worlds to conquer. While flying through space, she received a transmission about anime and decided that Japan was the perfect target for her unique brand of skills. Upon landing here, she was introduced to the wonderful world of VTubing by none other than Projekt Melody. Deciding this was going to be the most fun way to build up her new harem, she started streaming on Twitch only to get banned a few hours later, and upon returning, decided she needed to nerf her power level, and so she became a Christian streamer. Kson, the delinquent problem solver. Kson's story begins with her walking out of a convenience store and becoming fascinated with a group of delinquents that just seemed to be having a great time. Wanting to experience that feeling for herself, she decided to become a delinquent and build gunpla outside of convenience stores. Soon, people began to approach her, intrigued by what she was doing, and ended up sharing their problems with her, which she would help solve with a quick ass-kicking or inspirational quotes from shonen manga. These newfound friends would form her group, and for a while it was the happiest time in her life. However, life moves on and people go with it. But Kson was always wishing them well as they moved on to their next adventure. Now she is the one to begin a new chapter, joining Vshojo alongside Amamiya Nazuna, a fallen angel who she almost crashed into while riding her motorcycle. Bubi.
You all will refer to me as Infernal Beelzebub, Anarchia, Cruelty, Apocalypse, the opposite of divine, Prince of Suffering and Torment, Master of all sin, Conqueror of the Underworld, and King of all demonkind!
Was kicked down to the underworld as part of a rebellion started in the heavens by Ironmouse. Upset with his status, after years of torment, he decided he would no longer suffer this punishment and claim rulership over hell. Quickly, his crusade conquered all the levels but Limbo, where an impregnable fortress blocked his path. Upon hearing a prophecy, he searched for power in the Forgotten Lair and found Ironmouse in a cube. He released her and accidentally gave her his powers, something he is not happy about, but fell under her banner as she finally managed to destroy the Fortress of Limbo. Sadly, Ironmouse grew bored and soon left the underworld for Earth, with Bubi soon following. Only because he needed to get his power back, of course, and the two now reside on Earth, though Bubi still claims leadership of Hell. Projekt Melody was once a computer program made to mindlessly scan emails all day long. We all know the kind of things that get sent in spam emails, so it really shouldn't be too much of a surprise that she contracted the H virus, which, and I quote, looted her brain and released her to the internet. Her fans are called the Science Team because they, like Melody, tend to explore things, for science of course, and over time she has developed a bit of a glitch named Melware, which is somehow even more lewd than her base form. The next bit isn't lore, I just find it hilarious that Vshojo, the VTuber agency that she now works for, describes her as the most wholesome pervert you'll ever meet. Zentreya is back from the future. A long time from now, the world has become inhospitable to humans and machines run rampant, culling all organic life. In this future, Melware, the glitched version of Melody, has become fully sentient and is leading the charge to destroy what's left of humanity. The android Zentreya, in partnership with a human professor, managed to steal a hard drive from Melware containing time travel data with the intention of going back in time to fix the past. Unfortunately, during their escape, the professor had to sacrifice himself to destroy a giant robot dragon that had been sent by Melware to kill them, and escaping with little time to spare, she made it to the human encampment only to inform them they had minutes left to live as Melware now knew their location. Speaking with the elderly doctor who had been part of the family to raise her, she was sent back in time to a date before June 15th, 2022, the day that Melware took over, and upon arrival in present times threatened to kill Melody, who didn't seem to know who or what Melware was. Back in the future, it was revealed that time travel doesn't change the current timeline, it just creates a new one. Sorry, doctor. And in the present, we see Melware taunting Melody, who has managed to make friends with Zentreya and vows to never let the glitch get her way. Ironmouse got a lore update. Here's what's new. The Vshojo universe was made by a creator who gave all beings free will and then promptly fell asleep, residing in a pillar up in heaven surrounded by angels. Ironmouse, or Satanael, was one such being, but after eons had grown bored with heaven and wanted to see what the creator looked like, and more importantly, wanted others to embrace sin because it's what makes life worth living. Her speech roused the curiosity of other angels who flocked to see what the creator was, but upon seeing it, their minds were damaged and divinity ripped from them, destroying the memory of what they had seen and turning them all into demons. Ironmouse specifically was put into a box that robbed her of her senses for all eternity. But once she had been broken out and was now here on Earth, she ditched the name of Satan only to discover there must always be a Satan, and a version of herself from Melware's timeline was going to take over hell. Melware is here, and she's not from our timeline. Having finally eradicated humans from Zentreya's original timeline, Melware found herself bored because there was no one left to fight. So naturally, she decided to invade Hell. However, as she tried to open a portal, it exploded, taking most of the city with it, and revealing a very different Ironmouse who expressed her displeasure that Melware had ruined Earth. Mel countered by stating that she had actually created a prospering paradise, but if Mouse truly missed the old Earth, she had a proposition for her. Back in our universe, Projekt Melody had become a driver for the Vshojo Motorsports team, but suddenly found herself locked in her own mind with our timeline's version of Melware, while the Zentreya version took control of her body. At the same time, the other Ironmouse began her mission to take over Hell because ours abandoned it, so it looks like that deal was to cooperate in the conquering of our universe.